If your market is starting to feel like a full-time job and you're not actually seeing the kind of consistent revenue and clients that you expected, you might actually be making one of these 7 mistakes, and I'm going to break them down for you. I'm Jody Ann, a digital marketer and an event planner turned agency owner, and I've worked with many service-based businesses and consultants, hundreds of them over the years. And I can say that I've seen these mistakes over and over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down in this video some of the most common mistakes that I've seen that business owners make and how you can fix or avoid them if you wish to see growth in your business. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to share actually one of the marketing tactics that I thought was so super smart and savvy that was actually blocking a lot of my leads and how I fixed it. Let's just dive into all the mistakes so that you can get to fixing them. The first one that I've noticed is those are clients who try to be everywhere all at once. So think about all the different ways that you're trying to market. You might be on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Pinterest. You're doing your website, you're on the directories, you're on the Knot, you're on Wedding Wire, you're on Reddit, you're on all these places trying to market. The thing is that you are one person, especially if you're a solopreneur. You're one person wearing many hats, and marketing is just one of those hats. When you're then diverting your marketing effort and time into multiple places, you're also taking away a lot of the time that you have that could be focused on one platform. Now, I spoke about this recently, for example, how I stopped posting on Instagram for 30 days and actually saw an increase in my revenue and an increase in all my analytics. And here's the thing, I had to take a step back, look at my business, at my time, and at the ROI that I was seeing and make a decision on if I wanted to continue on the platform. So I encourage you to do the same. If you find that you're marketing on 10 different platforms and you're still not getting consistent clients and your revenue is not where it should be or where you want it to be or it's not increasing, it's time to just stick a pin in it, take a step back and look at your analytics. Often there's so many business owners I meet that don't actually look at their analytics, and you should be doing this monthly, quarterly, yearly. You should be taking stock of your analytics. Look at your business to see where is your traffic coming from. You're marketing right now, let's see, on 5 or 10 different platforms. Which platforms are bringing you the most leads? Which platforms are you seeing the best ROI? Your ROI is how much time you're putting in or effort on that investment. How much results are you seeing based on that time and effort? Are you spending 2 hours on Instagram and seeing one client a year? Or are you perhaps spending 10 hours on your blog and you're seeing 20 leads every year? Look at the ROI and evaluate. And based on that, you might be able to cut back on some of the platforms that you're using so that you can put more of that time and effort into other places. Here's my big recommendation. If you can't do anything else, if you're strapped for time and you're strapped for money, choose one platform and just focus all your time and effort on increasing your visibility on that platform. Learn the platform, learn the best marketing strategy, research to see what other people are doing who are doing amazingly on that platform, and so that you can learn and use it to inform your marketing as well. Mistake number 2 is one that I am guilty of, and it's actually talking like a marketer and not a human. Now, I'm guilty of this one, and I'll say I found that I have to constantly be stopping and editing and correcting myself, also because I've been using ChatGPT in my edits. So, for example, I will write something up. Let's say I write an email and I'll run it through a ChatGPT and say, hey, here's the email that I wrote, edit it for me and just clean it up and polish it. Now, as you know, ChatGPT will slide in some words here and there that you might not normally use. And I've been fairly good over the years of just editing this out by saying, I don't use this word. Like, I don't use transform and unlock and this all the time. Please remove them and don't ever use them. But because of that, I know a lot of people will start sounding or their content would sound like marketers rather than human. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of how your clients actually speak and make sure that you're matching that language, especially in your marketing, so that you're not missing or alienating the target clients. Because when you're speaking to someone like a marketer versus human, it has a different impact. Something that just talking about unlocking the benefits versus just saying, here's how you can work with us, or here's the things you can get when you work with us, sounds very different. I was looking recently for an accountant and I came upon someone. I went to their website and they were talking a lot about what they include in terms of filing your taxes and putting together this and do all these reportings and all these things. But my thing is, while I understood what the package was saying, it didn't speak to my need. I'm someone who I'm running a business, but I also do YouTube. And when I got to that website, I was looking for someone to be like, if you're a small business owner who is confused about which expenses need to be categorized, what expenses you can write off and what you cannot, how to actually plan ahead before you make purchases. Those were the kinds of things I was looking for that felt so much more human and that was missing. And I was saying, even though that particular accountant was recommended, when I went to their site, when I read the language, it didn't feel like what I was looking for, and I immediately continued on with my search. So just be mindful of that because your target clients might be doing the same thing. Mistake number 3 is relying on referral and word of mouth. I say this all the time. Referral and word of mouth marketing, they're amazing. They're amazing when you're just getting started, but don't ever make the mistake of not marketing your business because you're getting referrals. Because often what will happen is that first year in your business, you're getting referrals, the word of mouth marketing is working, and you're getting a couple of clients in the door. Then you'll hit year 2 or even year 3 if you make it, depending on the size of your network. And all of a sudden, the leads have dried up. And that's because all the leads were coming from referral and you've now tapped out in that little network that you're in. And because you haven't been marketing, you aren't having any clients or leads coming in because you weren't doing any actual lead generation activities. So make sure that you are marketing from the beginning. Even when you're getting referrals in, you should still be marketing. Your marketing is what keeps the lights on. A lot of people don't realize this. Marketing is what keeps the lights on because marketing is what brings your leads in. It's what brings your clients in, who ultimately are the ones that hire you. And that's where your revenue comes in. So you can't ever stop marketing. You can outsource your marketing. You can hire someone like me who will take on your marketing for you so you can focus on the business, but you can't stop marketing. Because the minute you stop, your leads will dry up, especially if you don't have a well-established business. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people end up doing panic marketing. What happens with panic marketing is you relied on referral and word of mouth marketing for the first year, maybe 2. You get to the point where now the leads just dry up all of a sudden and you're surprised, like you're taken by surprise because you just thought you would always be getting clients in, even though you weren't actually doing any targeted marketing. And because of that, you immediately realize, oh crap, I need to pay my bills. And you go into panic mode and you start doing panic marketing. Panic marketing is not marketing because it comes from a place of desperation, which means that then you're not sitting down and planning and making goals and actually being intentional. You're just marketing to try to get anything that comes in. And that results in a lot of unplanned and messy marketing. So you start doing discounting, you start cheapening your brand, or you just start taking any clients just to get the revenue in. And those clients might not be the best clients for you to work with, for your brand. It leads to all kind of issues later on. You already know what's happening if you've been here before. So just be aware of this and make sure that you're including marketing in your business consistently. Marketing is not optional. Number 4 is they're actually selling your services without positioning the problem. And I touched on this earlier. So I spoke about how when I went to that accountant's website, he had a couple of things listed, like the things that are included in his packages. But what I was referencing is how the language that he was being using was more of a marketing language rather than human. When you do this, which is when you're positioning the service rather than the problem, you tend to lose people like he did. Because as I mentioned earlier, I'm someone who, because I run a business and I do YouTube, I am looking for more strategy and handholding. I want someone, if I'm hiring an accountant, to say, hey, you're doing YouTube, which in itself is a part of your business, but slightly different. So here are some things I need you to be mindful of before we get to tax time. Whatever you wear in your YouTube video, it can be written off. However, it needs to be included in the video. Or maybe if you purchase any equipment to record your videos, you can write those off, but it needs to be meeting certain criteria. Or here's just some things you can plan for because you're on YouTube and because you're running a business. I need all of that information. That is presenting the problem rather than just listing a bunch of services or items. So just be mindful of that when you're marketing. Your clients might be coming to you because they're looking to have a problem solved. So when you just give them a list of features and a list of items, that's helpful, yes, but that's helpful if they've already identified that you are the person they want to work with and you're the best option for them. It is not helpful when they're trying to make the decision. So it's important to position the problem. What are they struggling with? Is it that they are planning a wedding and they're at the place where they thought they could do all this wedding planning thing by themselves because their best friend promised that they were going to help them plan, and now she's been MIA and not been helping because she's too busy with work? Or maybe it's that their spouse who said, I was going to be very hands-on, can't be because now they started a new job and they're busier than ever. Or maybe they're at the point now where they're so busy, they're strapped for time. They want to make the right decisions, but they don't know how to do it with such limited time while working full time and still having a social life. How can you help solve that problem? That's important to know. So make sure that you're positioning the problem rather than just a list of service or items. Mistake number 5 is ignoring your website. Your website is not a brochure, okay? You're waiting to treat your website like a salesperson. And a lot of people will set up the website and do so much work in the beginning. They'll do so much work to get the website started to make it pretty, and then they are done. They don't look at it again, they're not updated it. Your website is your salesperson. It is one of the few places on the internet that you own and that you control the content on. Make sure that salesperson can work for you 24/7, that the content on there is speaking to your target client. Make sure that the content is optimized for search so that when someone is searching a query into a search engine, you're showing up. Make sure that it is clear what you do, who you serve, and how someone can immediately work with you. One of the tips I like to give is that every single page on your website should be lead into a conversion. And if it's on your homepage, every single action button on your homepage should be like opening a door to an action item. So in your services section, it should be open the door to see all your packages. Maybe in your about section, it should be open the page to learn more about you as the business or a business owner. Maybe in the book a consultation, it should just be linking to your calendar so they can schedule something. All those doors need to be opening up and all those pages should be leading to a conversion. Mistake number 6 is not collecting emails. I used to list this one as an optional, but I'm going to be honest. In this day and age, this is not an optional thing. If people are coming to your website, people are engaging with your business, sometimes people are browsing and they're not quite making the decision. It's important to collect their email address because it gives you an opportunity to reach out to them and to try to retarget or market to them so that they can understand that you might be the best fit for them. Whatever you're doing right now, make sure you have a lead capture or a lead magnet on your website, which is just something to collect someone's email address. Now, this could just be a quick sign up for a newsletter. I don't recommend that. In this day and age, no one is signing up for a generic newsletter. People want something that's leading to solve a little small piece of a problem for them. Find something that your clients might be struggling with that you can help to solve in something quick, something like a quiz, something that can be downloaded, a checklist, something like that. That way they can enter their email address, they can get the resource, and you can get that email address on the back end and follow up with and contact. You should have that in place in your business because it's a great way for you to target lost traffic who might not have reached out or contacted you, but at least you now have a way to connect with them. Last but certainly not least is mistake number 7. And mistake number 7 is mistaking content for strategy. We are in the age right now of content creation. Everyone can put out content. I mean, you can just go on ChatGPT, ask a question, and generate a blog post. So everyone is pumping out content. Now, that doesn't mean it's good content, and it doesn't mean that content is actually strategy. Putting out more content is not strategic. It's important to understand the reason behind each piece of content you're publishing, whether that's a social media post or a blog post or a YouTube video. Each time you're putting out a piece of content, you really do need to be clear who you're trying to target, what question are you trying to answer, and what's the goal of that content. Is it going to lead someone to better understand your services? Is it going to lead someone to better understand what you do? Is it going to lead someone to understand how they can work with you? What's the goal of that, right? So make sure you're not just pushing out content for the sake of content. And because ChatGPT and all these AI program makes it so easy, but you're being strategic about how that content can lead to a conversion. Now, if you're making any of these mistakes, I guarantee you that you are leaving a ton of leads on the table. So definitely sign up for my free lead generation audit, which I'm going to drop down below in the link in the description so you can sign up. I will have a look at your business to see where you might be losing traffic and losing leads and how you can fix that. The thing is that marketing doesn't have to feel like guessing, but it will if you're actually making any of these mistakes. So it's important to go through and see what ways that you can fix some of these mistakes in your business to help to improve some of your processes. And if you need help, support, or have questions, just connect with me or drop a comment down below. Thank you so much for continuing to support my business and my channel. I promise it's just business owners like you that keep me motivated and keep me just getting here, sitting on this camera and recording content every day. And if you have questions, don't hesitate. I actually love when you ask questions that will help me to create better content. So just drop them down below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.